Okay, so we know that when we have an even index and when we have an even index and a negative radicand, we usually can't simplify, but now that we know that the square root of -1 equals I, we can go ahead and simplify. So I'm going to split this up into a product of 16 and square root of -1. Then I'm going to continue simplifying. Square root of 16 is 4. The square root of -1 is I. Okay, now I'm going to do the other one, -13. I'm going to split it into a product of square root of 13 and square root of -1. Square root of 13 I can't simplify anymore, but square root of -1 is I, and 13 square root of 13 stays 13. Okay, let's try another one. Let's say like -12. -12 can split into 12 and square root of -1. Then square root of 12 can be split into 4 and 2. 4 and 3. And then we can continue to simplify square root of 4, which is 2, square root of 3, and square root of 1, which is square root of -1, which is I. And then square root of 3 times I is 2I square root of 3. And that's the answer. So here are 3 different examples of how to solve for a radicand that is has an even index and a negative radicand. You split it into a product of square root of -1 in itself, and then you continue to simplify. Let's do another one. Let's do one more. We have the square root of -25 and the square root of, let's say, square root of -18. So here we have the square root of 25 and the square root of -1, right? We split into a product of square root of -1 and itself. Then this continues to 5 times I, right? Then here we have the square root of 18 times the square root of -1. Then 18, we have the square root of 9 times 2. And then here we have 3 radical 2 times I, which is 3I radical 2. Okay, there's more for you. If you guys have any questions, please go ahead and email me, okay?